Hello, Namaskar, and welcome to Talking Point Blank. Now, I was away for a few days, so there has been some gap. I was attending the Kashmir Literature Festival in Kashmir, and it was a wonderful literature festival. We had lots and lots of very good and very serious discussions. Hopefully, the videos will be out very soon for you, friends, to watch it. It was really a very good discussion. At least I can say in my domain, when national security and geopolitics is concerned, we had some of the best experts. We had Abhijit Iyer Mitra, we had Rami Desai, we had Shiv Kunal Verma, we had Kanchan Gupta. So a variety of dialogue and a variety of opinions we had. It was a good time, and I'm happy that I could bring you one podcast with Colonel Ajay Rana, and Colonel Saab, as you know, is the chief of unknown gunman, he's known as usually. So I hope you enjoyed that podcast, and I'm hoping that Colonel Rana will be featuring more and more with us, and will be an opportunity for me to bring to you his perspective of what is happening in our neighborhood, especially in Pakistan and its ancillaries. So since I talked about Pakistan, now Pakistan में बहुत सी चीज़ें हो रही हैं यार. I mean, जिस दिन से मैं गया हूँ, I have been tracking Pakistan all night. चाहे फिर वो TLP के प्रोटेस्ट हों या फिर वो अफगानिस्तान के साथ, तालिबान के साथ बॉर्डर स्क्रमिशेस हों, या फिर पाकिस्तान की एयर स्ट्राइक्स हों काबुल में. So there are a lot of things which have happened, but I'm not going to mingle all of them together. I'm not going to talk about TLP also, and I'm not going to talk about Afghan-Pakistan clashes which are ongoing. So I think TLP is something which I can bring to you about tomorrow. And today I'm going to talk only about what is happening between Afghanistan and Pakistan. Now, we all know that this all started with, there were two triggers to it. Trigger one was that the Afghan foreign minister Muttaqi was in India. And the night he was in India, there had been an attack a day before in Pakistan, which TTP carried out, wherein Pakistan lost about 53 of their soldiers in that attack. It was on the police academy. They lost 53 trainees of their police academy. Another 28 were injured. It was a day-long attack. We saw videos coming out of Pakistan all day. And in the evening, Pakistan thought it's about to retaliate. And they carried out an airstrike, which was a botched-up airstrike on TTP chief Nuruli Masood. So they tried to eliminate Masood, but it didn't happen. And that triggered a storm in Afghanistan. Because one, the Pakistanis miscalculated the mood of Afghan Taliban. That is very clear. The Pakistanis also tried to punch above their weight in Kabul. They thought by taking out TTP chief, they would be able to send a strong message to the Afghan Taliban and they will be able to subdue them. Now, why did Pakistan do that? It has got nothing to do with Muttaqi being in India, but it has got to do more with the way Donald Trump is going about talking about Bagram Air Base. The Pakistanis think that the Americans have given them the complete control to do whatever they want to do in the region vis-a-vis Afghanistan and vis-a-vis India. Little do they realize that Donald Trump is playing a very dangerous game. That Donald Trump has got them by hook, line and sinker, literally in a net. And what Donald Trump is going to do is Donald Trump is going to squeeze the Pakistanis, keep the unrest brewing in Pakistan while trying to deal with China in Balochistan. So Pakistanis have not understood the bigger game of America, and they think this new bonum between Donald Trump, because he wants to make money on his crypto and on his real estate, is something which is linked to the American deep state. What they don't realize is Donald Trump's personal interests are not the same as American deep state interests. The deep state interests in Pakistan are entirely different, while Donald Trump's personal interest of making money through crypto deals and through real estate is entirely different. Pakistanis have mingled the two. There were also reports that the Americans have supplied them with AIM-120 air-to-air missiles of $42 million worth, but that not turned out to be entirely correct. Yes, the Americans have provided them air-to-air BVR missiles to the Pakistanis, but not to the quantity of what Pakistanis were expecting from them. But I'm not talking about what Americans are doing with them. What I'm talking about is the American deep state interest in Pakistan are completely different than the personal interest of Donald Trump, and that is where Pakistan has got it confused. Now, the moment they did this airstrikes, the Taliban retaliated. For a day and a half, Taliban pounded Pakistani 27 posts day before yesterday at different locations, all through coast, Kandahar, Paktika, Spin Boldak, Kurram. Name the province, name the border area, name the border area around Durand Line. The whole Durand Line was burning. The Talibanis said that they have extracted their cost and they left it to that. And there was some kind of peace agreement to it. But what the Pakistanis did was again provoke the Afghans, which has literally triggered a huge backlash by the Afghan forces, which now Pakistan is finding very, very hard to contain. Now, what has happened is the Pakistanis sent their quadcopters into Kabul again to do surveillance and onto the border posts of Pak border. That again triggered a very, very sharp reaction from the Afghans. And last night, finally, the Afghan Taliban reinforced their border with Pakistan, the imaginary border, what they call, and they launched a very heavy attack, a very strategic attack at Spin Boldak crossing in the morning. What resulted is complete mayhem, because what has happened there is that one, the Pakistanis have lost their main border post to the Afghan Taliban. Afghan Taliban has taken it over. They have killed maximum Pakistani border guards there. They have taken 8 Pakistani soldiers captive and taken them to Afghanistan. But that is not the only thing. What else has happened is that the Afghans have taken all the heavy machinery, the light machinery, the armory, included 2 tanks. With light tanks, which the Pakistanis had placed right at the border of Spin Boldak and taken them back as war bounties in Afghanistan. Now, we also saw yesterday images emerging where in Afghanistan, the Taliban had literally, they displayed the Pakistani pants, army pants. उन्होंने वो पकड़ा था एक soldier को उसकी पैंट उतार के वो लटका दी थी और उसकी गन लटका दी थी. But आज की जो visuals हैं, honestly, I have a lot of visuals from Pakistan-Afghanistan border. I am not sharing them on my Twitter. I'm not sharing them on my X, because I believe that it's not right to share those gory images of what I have seen since morning. Literally, Pakistani FC soldiers are being dragged across the Durand Line without clothes, beaten black and blue, and in some cases completely dead. Their naked dead bodies are being hanged in the Afghan side of the border of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa for everybody to see. It is a colossal mayhem for Pakistan. No matter what ISPR PR does on sending all those video game and imageries and all those thermal images which they are manufacturing with their computers, the Pakistani ISI can be very good at playing PR games, but they are equally bad as playing the war games when it comes to real battle. The real battlefield, the Afghans are literally hammering Pakistanis left, right, and center. And this, I don't think, is going to stop. I think this is going to escalate. Now, as I said, I think the Pakistanis took upon themselves to make a deal between Afghanistan and Pakistan on Bagram Air Base. Now, let me be very, very clear. Bagram is not an air base which was set in by the Americans. Bagram की जो history है वो Americans की नहीं है, वो America ने set up नहीं की है. Bagram was set up by the Russians. So the air base was, and Donald Trump, when he about last month said that Bagram needs to go back to the people who set it up, didn't even realize what he's talking about. But given the geopolitical contestations happening in the region, I don't think Afghans are amenable to give Bagram to the Americans. Not at least openly. We do know that there was some presence of American troops about 2 months back at Bagram, but the reports were that those American troops left Bagram after that. Now, why is Bagram important? Bagram is important because of 3 reasons. If you look at the way Americans want to basically set up their own small listening, I would not even call them listening base posts, but small bases like they have in Iraq. along the Iranian border and to curb Chinese influence in the Arabian Sea. For example, Asim Munir's offer of giving Pasni port to Americans is a part of that deal as well. 70 kilometers from Gwadar is where the Pasni port is. So if the Pakistanis have offered them a port, which means a naval port, Bagram makes complete sense, because Bagram gives them then the leverage of flying over not only over Iran, Middle East, but it also gives them a leverage over the Chinese Air Force, which is present in Gwadar. Because we know the Chinese airport is under Chinese control. The Gwadar airport is completely under control of China, and it's, the Chinese Air Force does keep making sorties and keeps landing there. That is why the Pakistanis, when the Operation Sindoor started, shifted all their critical assets, including their F-16s, towards Balochistan and Gwadar, because they thought that India will not attack because of the Chinese presence in the area. And that is why they left the Karachi port also open, thinking that the Chinese Navy or the Chinese military presence is something which will deter India from attacking the Gwadar port or attacking the Pakistani Navy assets in towards the Gwadar side of that Arabian Sea. So that is what the game plan of Pakistanis was then. That is what the game plan of Americans is now. But the Afghans are very, very clear. One, the Afghans are being backed by the Chinese and the Russians, and Afghans are also balancing it with the Americans. I am not saying that Afghans are not going to give the base to, will not allow Americans a base in Bagram, but it is not going to happen anytime soon. There is going to be very, very hard negotiations. The Saudis and the Qataris will have to play an increasingly important role, but that will only happen if the Middle East 20-point peace plan gets in place. For now, what we are seeing happening in Gaza, I don't see that, that peace plan is 20-point peace plan is going to sustain. I had already made this prediction a long time back. I'm just reiterating what I'm seeing. So if the Middle East is not going to settle down the way it was supposed to settle down, then I don't think Afghans are going to agree to give a Bagram base to the Americans. Now, Pakistanis have this habit of misadventure and miscalculating their geopolitical strength. In reality, what Pakistanis are not realizing is they think that because the Americans are siding with the Pakistanis, they have been rejuvenated to create strategic depth. They have a permission of a US to create strategic depth back into Afghanistan. But Pakistanis have heavily miscalculated that, and they're paying a very, very heavy price. Now, there were a lot of people who were asking me, why is it that the Pakistani army is folding the way they are holding? Honestly, where is the Pakistani army? If you look at the deployment, most of their army, because of Operation Sindoor, their frontline military is manning the borders of India and Pakistan. Then they also are manning the Iranian border, and at some point they are manning some Afghan borders. That leaves a large area in Afghanistan, Pakistan border, the Durand line, open to FC, and FC is ill-equipped, ill-trained to fight a determined, a strong, and a battle-hardened Afghan Taliban. They just fold, and that is exactly what we have seen, even Pakistani military folding. So where is this going to go? We are going to see skirmishes happening for next few days as well. I wouldn't be surprised if Donald Trump stops, again, he has already indicated he's going to stop this war, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Saudis ask Afghans to take it a bit back. But it's going to take some time. I think what Afghans are going to do is they're going to take some, like they took a post in Spin Boldak, they're going to do same in Paktika, they're going to do same in Kandahar, they're going to do same in Kuram. I think the Afghans are going to slowly erase the perceived, what we call Durand line, and they're going to establish some posts right on Pakistan's border. They're going to instill that sense of defeat, and they're going to keep the KPK game going on. On the contrary, today there has been a blast in Quetta. TTP is up on the ante. Baloch is up on the ante. Balochistan is going to blow up. Believe me, it is a matter of time. By next year, you will see what is happening in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa is going to shift towards Balochistan. The kind of attacks we are seeing in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa for now, they are going to shift towards the Balochistan region, because the Iranians are going to begin their games. And why they are going to begin their games? Surprise, surprise. If you remember the blast in Iran, which claimed more than 200 lives on the first anniversary of Qasem Soleimani, yes, it's linked to that. The Iranians and the Russians have been provided by full-proof intelligence with 100% backup, 100% proof that Pakistanis were the ones who actually got that attack carried out. What do you remember? There was an attack in Russia as well of ISKP during the same period as well. I think 22 people in Russia died that day. So both the Russians and the Iranians have foolproof intelligence that Pakistan was behind ISKP attacks. And look, I've been saying this for the last 3 years now that Pakistan is training ISKP. And that is what is happening. And what is happening with ISKP is going to come into the TLP play tomorrow when I'm going to do a video on TLP and Saad Rizvi. That is for a different topic and a different debate. But for now, what is happening geopolitically is Pakistan is again trying to chew for more than what it can swallow. It has lost its teeth, but it hasn't lost its lust of, biting on bones and on meat. So a toothless Pakistan is thinking he's going to swallow the pound of flesh in Afghanistan once again. It is not going to happen. The Afghans have retaliated very, very strongly. And what is going to happen is the skirmish is going to go on for next couple of days at least before it settles down. And I think Saudis are the one who are going to play a role in it. I don't think the Qataris will be able to. I don't think Donald Trump will be able to. The Saudis will play the role. Trump will take credit. That is how it is going to turn up. I hope you liked this video. If you liked it, kindly share it with your friends and your family. Ask them to subscribe to the channel. Help me grow this channel more. And you can also become members, contribute to my channel through donations by becoming members or by using super thanks and super chats. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the YouTube comment section or on my X at @rajamuneeb. I'll be more than happy to take your questions and answer you back. Till then, Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.